Tonight, no jail time for a former officer guilty of breach of trust. A meeting to try and revive the Ag Research Center in Indian Head. And Regina's Frost Festival kicks off under warm conditions.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. A Regina police officer who pleaded guilty to using internal police databases to access the private information of more than 30 women will not spend any time behind bars. Instead, his sentence involves serving 2 years in the community, including time on house arrest. As Donovan Mace tells us, some of those who had their privacy breached say that sentence is not enough.
When Carrie Benjo first approached police 3 years ago to report her private information had been accessed by an officer, she did not know the extent of those impacted.
I've had a long time to sit with this. I've resolved it within myself. Whatever came out of today would be it.
Former Regina Police Sergeant Robert Semenchuk pleaded guilty in November to breach of trust and unauthorized use of a computer charges. He used internal police databases to access the information of Benjo and 32 other women for over 12 years from 2011 to 2023. Some, like Benjo, Semenchuk even engaged in intimate relationships with.
Today for me was just closure to a very long journey, and my expectations were met.
Judge Marilyn Beaton handing down her sentence, which will see Semenchuk spend 6 months on house arrest, another 18 months on a conditional sentence served in the community, and then 3 years of probation. But for some, that penalty is not harsh enough.
I was expecting more. I think that 33 women deserve more. We were victimized, we were stalked, we were taken advantage of.
The sentence follows a joint submission from the Crown and the defense.
When you look at the judge's decision, she did outline that. It is a situation where we are required to consider all the case law, consider the offenses that have been charged.
Because this case involved a serious breach of trust. At the same time, the judge needs to consider the sentencing principle.
Regina Police Chief Laura Lee Davies says the service is implementing a series of new protocols, ensuring similar incidents do not happen again.
I am committed to doing better and, looking at any possibility in terms of what that might look like. So whether it's systems, whether it's training, and, I think deterrence in cases going forward.
But for Benjo, relief. The process of moving on may now begin.
I was determined that, this man would not leave me in fear. He no longer has that power.
Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
Sask Polytechnic has announced another round of layoffs. The post-secondary institution says while it made significant progress late last year for organizational stability, it continues to face challenges in the international education landscape. As a result, revenue shortfalls have led to 23 full-time and part-time employees laid off. Sask Polytechnic says more workforce adjustments may be coming in the spring. Groups concerned about the planned closure of the Indian Head Research Farm are uniting against the federal government's plan. The facility is slated to close this summer after 140 years in operation, and today a meeting was held in the community to plan the next steps. Wayne Mantica was there and has more.
A growing coalition of groups opposed to closure of the Indian Head Research Farm met in the community to discuss the impact. They include elected representatives and farm leaders who want Ottawa's decision reversed.
I wanted to talk to the people directly affected by this decision, and I want to be well armed when I go back to Ottawa to fight for this. We're going to have some committee hearings on this very subject, and I'm going to do everything I can to fight to keep this research center open.
The research and crop testing facility has been in operation since the 1800s. It's slated to close this summer as part of a plan to reduce the size of the federal civil service. Former staff say many important discoveries were made at the facility.
One thing that I was proud to be part of was the development of midge-resistant wheats, which was a huge breakthrough. It's the first of a kind in Canada, in the world actually, and it was with our scientists in Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada.
Loss of the research farm would be a second blow dealt the community by the federal government. In 2013, Ottawa closed the Indian Head Tree Nursery. Combined, it represents about 100 jobs.
What are those people going to do? And it's not just those people that are losing their jobs, it's their spouses and what they're involved in town, whether they're teachers, whether they're nurses, whether they're, so many other things, and volunteers for scouts and leaders and hockey coaches and stuff. So it's going to affect us huge again.
The people involved in today's meeting hope to generate awareness to the work done by the research farm and generate some resistance to Ottawa's plan in hopes of having the decision reversed. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Indian Head.
Saskatchewan RCMP's crime reduction team pulled 2 firearms off the street after a search of a home in La Loche. Officers searched a home in La Loche as part of an ongoing investigation. 3 people were arrested at the scene. Officers found and seized a shotgun, an air rifle, as well as ammunition. 2 people were released without charges, while 29-year-old Kelsey Herman of La Loche was charged with unauthorized possession of a firearm. He's scheduled to appear in La Loche Provincial Court next month. Saskatchewan RCMP recently completed a proactive traffic safety initiative in northern Saskatchewan, and on Saturday and Sunday of last week, officers conducted these check stops in La Ronge, Stanley Mission, Grandmother's Bay, and Mississippi, checking for unsafe driving behaviors. They stopped about 494 vehicles, issued 134 tickets, and 335 warnings. 1 driver was charged for impaired driving. There were 9 roadside suspensions issued, 8 for drugs, 1 for alcohol impairment, and 1 driver did flee from police. RCMP are still looking for that driver. Saskatchewan bars and restaurants can now request to open alcohol service early so patrons can cheer on Olympic athletes at the Milan Cortina Games. The Saskatchewan Liquor and Gaming Authority will consider requests to begin serving alcohol as early as 5 a.m. on a case-by-case basis, several hours earlier than typically allowed. According to the province, the special exemption gives people the chance to cheer on Canadian athletes despite the time difference. Permittees are requested extended hours through the SLGA's licensing branch. All right, so we're not talking about the games, we're talking about another event, and that is Frost Festival. That is where we find Sabine tonight in rather nice temperatures.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, my mother would be the first to attest that I never dress properly for the winter because I was wearing a fall jacket earlier today, but I did switch into a parka, which I'm kind of grateful I did. It is 0 outside right now, so we're still above the average daytime high. Just the winds have picked up a little bit, but it is perfect to be outdoors enjoying some of these outdoor events that they have set up here at Victoria Park. But there's also a number of indoor events that you can take in during this Frost Festival, which is running for the next few weekends here in February. I'll talk more about that coming up, but if we talk about temperatures, taking a look at our almanac, we didn't get as warm as we would have liked to like yesterday, but we still got up to above 0 today, with the average being about -8, -9 this time of year. We can expect to see those temperatures continuing to be above 0 as we head into the weekend. Didn't see much for active weather, so we didn't really deal with precipitation. That too will change for parts of central Saskatchewan as we head into the weekend. But again, current temperatures, if we take a look at the next map there that we have, we're still seeing well above 0 temperatures for areas in the southwest, +11 for Maple Creek, +4 for Swift Current. And again, here in Regina, we're currently sitting at 0, and that temperature just changed for Maple Creek, but 9 degrees still isn't so bad. Wind chill is playing a factor for some areas in the province, but still, we're going to continue to enjoy seeing these above seasonal temperatures heading into the weekend. It was cloudy today, but expect to see the sun return heading into the weekend as well. But I'll have all the details and more coming up in your full forecast. Lee?
All right, thank you, Sabine. We'll have more on Frost Festival a little later on. Well, getting a cancer diagnosis can be stressful enough, but for some, just finding a way to get the treatment can be difficult. In Regina, there is a program where volunteer drivers take patients their appointments, and as Damian Smith tells us, now it's the program that's asking for some help.
Leroy Kwan started volunteering as a driver for the Canadian Cancer Society as a way to honor his late wife.
Like everybody in today's world, I mean, they've had to deal with cancer. And part of the motivation was I lost my wife to cancer in 2018.
The Wheels of Hope driving program spans from British Columbia to Ontario, as well as Newfoundland and Labrador. They are currently looking for volunteer drivers in Regina and Saskatoon to transport cancer patients to and from treatments.
It's hard to find transportation sometimes if you don't drive, if you don't have a vehicle. That taking a taxi is very expensive. So that's where the Wheels of Hope comes in.
According to the CCS, 42% of Canadians end up with a cancer diagnosis at some point in their life. In tough times, Kwan says patients he is driven are largely positive.
I run into days where some of the clients might not get the best of news. And then some days it's a bit frustrating because of the weights that are involved. But you realize that what they're dealing with and then adjust accordingly.
In 2025, Wheels of Hope took in 165 clients across Canada, totaling 1,774 round trips and over 17,000 kilometers. Kwan volunteers as a driver 3 days a week, transporting up to 8 clients a day, and he says he looks forward to hearing the good stories.
And there was a rap on my window, and it was this particular client who said, "Oh, I just had a visit with my doctor and they don't want to see me anymore."
Some people just want to express themselves, and there may be the odd person that might be a little teary, but that's okay. It's understandable what they're going through, and while they're fighting this horrible disease.
Damien Smith, CTV News, Regina.
Well, there's plenty of people that take issue to the circumstances that surround a parking ticket. And for one Saskatchewan woman, it's when pulling over to take care of her distressed newborn ended up in a fine. Stacey Hine has those details.
Katie Jackson from Asquith says she was driving in downtown Saskatoon when her 1-month-old became distressed.
She was hysterically crying and she was turning red and sweating, and I was concerned for her, so I pulled over to check on her.
After stopping along 5th Avenue North, Jackson says she realized her baby was hungry and moved into the passenger seat to give her a bottle. 7 minutes later, a parking enforcement officer handed her a ticket. Jackson says she was alone in the car during a January cold snap with her hands full and without the parking app set up.
I was stuck at the time. I was holding a baby with one hand and a bottle with another, and I just wasn't able to do it in that moment.
She says she wishes the parking officer gave her a warning instead of a ticket.
Just a little bit of compassion, maybe. Come to the car, say, hey, you've been parked here for over 5 minutes now. Are you going to pay?
In a statement to CTV News, the city says payment is required in all pay-for-parking zones, regardless if a vehicle is running or occupied. It says it understands Jackson's concerns and says if a ticket is paid, that means a person has admitted to the violation.
I was wanting to go and fight it and kind of explain my circumstance, but we didn't want the price to go up to $60, so we figured we'd just pay the $35.
Jackson's husband attempted to appeal the ticket, but the request was denied.
Jump through hoops and hoops and hoops just to get any sort of answer, just for them to come back and go, well, it's a bylaw, sucks to be you.
For Jackson, what she believed was a safety stop came at a cost.
I couldn't focus on driving while my baby was crying in the back seat. The same with the phone call. You pull over, you take the phone call. That's what is the safest thing to do.
She hopes sharing her experience prepares others for a similar situation. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The City of Prince Albert and Woodland Cree First Nation are celebrating a federal grant that brings the city one step closer to building a convention and cultural event center. Jasmine Peltier has the latest.
It's going to attract tourism, it's going to attract business, it's going to attract cultural events, entertainment. It's going to become a hopping place.
Prince Albert has received $15 million in federal funding for a convention and cultural event center. The city says it marks an important first funding step toward making the center a reality. But at this point, there isn't a set timeline for construction.
Our goal is to get all of our funding in place. I'd be remiss if I gave you
a specific timeline, but this is something our goals are set, and we want to get going and hit the ground as soon as we can.
In 2024, the city partnered with Lac La Ronge Indian Band, Montreal Lake Cree Nation, and Peter Ballantyne Cree Nation for funding opportunities and shared ownership of the center.
People come here to go to school, to attend school, and also to play sports, and also to just to be part of the city. We have a lot of opportunities.
The Woodland Cree First Nations would own up to 45% of the proposed development in this arrangement.
There's no question in my mind, without the First Nations engagement, we would not be here celebrating this success.
The convention center will be right next to the Lake Country Co-op Leisure Center. The city says the project is fully designed as work continues to sort out other funding opportunities.
The cost was originally, during the election, we talked about $135 million. That's the best guess at the time.
With the potential to create up to 600 jobs, Paulinski says the city will have a better idea of the total cost as the proposed project moves forward. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
Also, that city will receive financial support for 7 officers as part of the Provincial Safer Communities and Neighborhoods, or SCAN, enforcement initiative. About $830,000 going to the recruitment and retention of about 7 officers. The province says it will enhance frontline policing capacity and improve response times across the city. The service says this money is for capacity and sustainability. Well, it does not mean that there will be an instant increase in policing strength on the street.
Policing is a profession that requires recruitment, training, and retention over time. Funding does not create immediate officers on the street, but it does strengthen the organization so that we can deliver policing services more efficiently and responsibly.
The province has committed $6 million to this initiative for the 25-26 fiscal year to add approximately 100 officers across the province. Still ahead, a felony assault charge against NHL prospect Gavin McKenna has been withdrawn, and a former Norwegian prime minister is questioned over his ties to Jeffrey Epstein. Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand was in Greenland's capital city today for the official opening of a Canadian consulate. It's being welcomed as a show of solidarity for the Danish-held Arctic territory amid those threats from Washington. Abigail Bimman has the latest.
Cool, we're in Nuuk. Ida Saunders is one of dozens of Canadian Inuit landing in Greenland ahead of the opening of the first Canadian consulate since the Second World War.
Historically, we've always been close. We just never had to state it to anybody before, I suppose.
We are one people. That's the message the Inuit on this charter flight are sending. Many see ties between Donald Trump's threats to take over Greenland with both his 51st state threats and their own history of colonization.
All the current events involving Donald Trump have been very insulting to all Inuit everywhere. I think they've insulted me. And I wanted to just show my solidarity with the people of Greenland.
She just had her baby, so she came to the airport to greet me.
Atlas. His name is Atlas.
Friends so close, Hilutaguna calls Atlas her Canadian grandson.
Inuit that are, impacted by borders, but not like we're breaking down those colonial borders, which is amazing.
Atlas's mom says she's worried about Trump's threats and glad Canada is opening a consulate.
I really appreciate, as an Inuit from Greenland, and I really love they showing their support.
While Atlas's father isn't so worried.
I see those videos of Trump on social media, and I see them, I listen, but I don't take them seriously.
Canada's Governor General and the Foreign Affairs Minister arrive here on Friday to officially open the consulate. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Nuuk, Greenland.
U.S. prosecutors are withdrawing a felony charge against Canadian hockey player and top NHL prospect Gavin McKenna. McKenna plays for Penn State and was accused of punching a man outside a bar after what investigators called an exchange of words. The victim suffered multiple jaw fractures, and after reviewing video evidence, prosecutors say McKenna did not act with the intent to cause serious bodily harm. Court records show McKenna is still facing a misdemeanor charge of assault. The 18-year-old from Whitehorse is projected to be the #1 overall pick in this year's NHL draft. Authorities in Norway have opened an investigation into former Prime Minister Torbjorn Jagland after his ties to late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. He was Norway's Prime Minister between 1996 and 1997 and also served as a chairman of the Nobel Committee. The files reveal years of contact between a politician and Epstein, with emails indicating he had plans to visit Epstein's island with his family in 2014 when he was chairman of the Nobel Committee. Well, the first time, the opening ceremony was a multi-site event spread across northern Italy. Scott Hurst has the details on the celebration of sport, Team Canada, and the first events of the day.
More than 200 Canadian athletes are stepping onto the world stage, led by flag bearers Quebec's Michael Kingsbury and BC's Marielle Thompson, both athletes previous Olympic champions, as Canada's team eyes more podium appearances. The opening ceremony is a stunning display of culture and sport, with the host nation always mixing in its own flavor, and Italy sure has a rich history to show off as Milan Cortina welcomes the world. And for the first time in Olympic history, the ceremony takes place across multiple venues in separate cities in a widespread yet unified event, with San Siro Olympic Stadium in Milan serving as the central hub.
They'll emphasize Italy, naturally. Music, dance, arts, they have a lot to work with.
Even before the pomp and ceremony to officially kick off 17 days of sport and spectacle, Canadian athletes have already begun making their mark. Quebec's Francis Jobin soaring into the Big Air final. He'll have a shot at the podium on Saturday in his Olympic debut. The husband and wife mixed doubles curling team of Jocelyn Peterman and Brett Gallant are now 3-1, winning their first 3 matches before falling to the Americans. And Canadians sit 5th after day 1 of the Olympic figure skating team event. The competition kicks into high gear tomorrow with the first medals being awarded. And after the first match was postponed on Thursday, the Canadian women's hockey team will begin its pursuit of back-to-back Olympic gold medals. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
Coming up, Echo Valley Provincial Park is offering a taste of the Olympic Winter Games right here at home.
Welcome. Oh. All right, welcome back. The joys of live TV. I'm down here at Pafiaco Plaza where Frost Festival is underway. It's happening over the next few weekends in the month of February, where you can take in a number of fun activities outdoors, like the crew behind me learning the ropes of croca curl. There is also an ice rink where we've got a number of kids taking advantage of an outdoor rink here downtown. And if you want to head indoors, perhaps because it might be a little chilly, you can always take in the production of Frost at the Globe, or there's a number of other events happening down in the warehouse district if you want to take in some entertainment as well. There is a bit of a breeze if you haven't noticed. We'll take a look through our Skycam. Current temperature 0. The winds are sitting at 30 with the wind gust up to about 40 kilometers an hour right now. Today was certainly a cooler day, but not cooler than average. And we didn't really have to deal with anything when it comes to precipitation. Taking a look at that radar satellite. Cloud cover, yes, it was a cloudier day today, but that will also change as we head into the weekend. So there is some precipitation expected for the weekend, not until we get into Sunday. And as of right now, it's looking like it won't be until Sunday afternoon, and mostly affecting more of central Saskatchewan, except late Sunday afternoon, you can see a little bit of that rain coming through the Yorkton area. I've looked at rainfall totals. It certainly does not look like it's going to be a lot of amounts when it comes to accumulation, but As you can see, southern Saskatchewan, for the most part, still expecting to see clear and sunny conditions all through the weekend, even into Monday morning. We'll still start to see some cloud cover rolling in Monday, but one thing will remain is that these above seasonal temperatures will continue. Now, if we take a look at what we've got coming up across the province, the average lows during this time of year are usually still sitting in the -20. So you can see, especially areas like Lloydminster, -4 is the low tonight, warming up above 0 to +1. These trends will continue for the rest of the weekend for much of Saskatchewan. Prince Albert tomorrow, -2, expecting some fog. When we get into the Saskatoon area, tomorrow we can expect to see a mix of sun and cloud, above 0 at +2 for Saskatoon, -2 for Yorkton. And then, of course, that'll change as what we can expect for Saskatoon and Yorkton to see some precipitation by Sunday. But the southwest, certainly expecting to see some very warm temperatures. 14 for Maple Creek, mainly sunny, 9 for Swift Current with a mix of sun and cloud. Moose Jaw, 4 degrees and a mix of sun and cloud. Southeast continuing to see above seasonal temperatures with above 0 temperatures expected. Assiniboia +7, 3 for Estevan, and 2 for Weyburn. For Regina tonight, again, for most of today, we were hovering between -1, -2. Even tonight, -2 is a low. Winds expected to pick up more than what we're experiencing now, gusting up to 55. But tomorrow, expecting a mix of sun and cloud. +3 is the expected daytime high with a mix of sun and cloud and winds up to 35. But what's to come for the next 7 days? Well, more of this. We're going to continue to see above seasonal temperatures. So again, tomorrow, 3 with a mix of sun and cloud, mainly sunny on Sunday. Winds do look like they're going to pick up, gusting up to 55. 7 degrees is the expected high. Monday, the clouds return. 0 is the expected high. Tuesday, +1 and sunny. 2 on Wednesday, a mix of sun and cloud. 1 on Thursday, mainly sunny. And Friday, 3 degrees, mainly sunny. So, Lee, it looks like right across the board for the next 7 days anyway, we're going to still see above seasonal, above 0 temperatures. And taking a look at the long-range forecast, it's not until we get into near the end of February where we will see those temperatures returning to seasonal temperatures. And by then, we'll be looking at about -6, -7 for daytime highs, which is seasonal. So not too bad of a February. And like I said, down here taking in all the frost activities, we've got a lot going on. There's so much to take in outdoors and indoors. You could do some cross-country skiing at Mosaic Stadium if you wanted to.
So maybe that's good that the wind's coming up because you don't want anything to melt. I mean, frost is based on having temperatures that things are frozen, so at least it's not going to melt quickly with that wind kind of cooling things down.
Yeah, actually, that's a great thing that you pointed out because I was walking through some snow thinking it was going to be light and fluffy, but with that wind, you get a bit of a ice glaze on top of that and it gets a little slippery. So just be mindful wherever you are walking that, yes, you're right. The wind does help to kind of keep things a little frozen on the grounds, especially the ice here down at Pat Fiacco Plaza.
All right, we'll let you go enjoy some more Frost Festival. Thanks. Well, despite the warm weather, as we mentioned, yes, Frost Festival officially underway. This year marks the first time that the festival is going to run for 3 consecutive weekends. More time to check things out. Jacob Carr has the details.
Workers were busy getting things up and running for the opening weekend of the Frost Festival. The City of Regina is looking forward to hosting events throughout the month of February, which they say will give people a chance to see more of the attractions over multiple weekends.
The other reason we really wanted to do 3 weekends was, people are busy. There's hockey tournaments, people are traveling for their kids' sports and activities. And so if you do it over the course of 3 weekends, people almost certainly have the opportunity to take part in Frost at some point.
New this year, Frost is partnering with Globe Theatre. The start of the festival coincides with the Globe's current production of Disney's Frozen.
Our friends at Salon Society will be here from 1 to 5 on those days, frostifying people's hair, as well as our hot chocolate. And there's lots of opportunities to get some photos, or if it's really cold, you can come warm up here with us at the Globe.
At the Real District, a brand new attraction can be found at Mosaic Stadium, a mechanical snowboard that tests one's balance and coordination. I tried my hand on the machine and ended up taking a spill.
But snowboarding isn't the only thing you can do here inside the SGI Chalet. You can also try your hand at street curling. Hopefully I'm better at that than I was on the snowboard.
There will also be plenty of activities at field level, and the SaskTel Maxtron will be broadcasting Team Canada Olympic coverage during Frost.
One of the things I'm really looking forward to is seeing the Indigenous Games and trying out some of these activities. But knowing that, some other folks might come and looking for a very active pursuit. We've got things like trying out biathlon or just letting off some steam in the obstacle course at the Blizzard Bound.
The Real District will also feature plenty of food options, including the newly introduced Frosty Dog with a sprinkling of shaved coconut. Frost runs 3 consecutive weekends ending February 22nd. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
People around the world have their eyes on Milan Cortina as the Winter Olympics have begun. There are athletes competing from Saskatchewan, and Echo Valley Provincial Park is cheering them on. Mick Favel tells us more.
The flag of the 2026 Canadian Olympic team is now flying over Echo Valley Provincial Park. In celebration of the Winter Games, Echo Valley has done some redecorating with a few of the major events readily available in the park.
There's nothing like getting out in that crisp winter air, going for a snowshoe, going for a skate, trying croquis curl. There's truly something for people of all ages to get outside, truly embrace winter and feel better about yourself.
I'd like to present the bronze medal to Rhea.
Students and staff from Cornwall Alternative School are wrapping up an afternoon of winter activities, trying out the podium and medals, which are free for all to use. For the school, outdoor education and sports are a great way to introduce students to a healthier lifestyle, which could take them many places.
Skating is part of who we are as Canadians. With the Winter Olympics here starting today, we thought it'd be a good idea just to see some of our future Olympians out skating.
Students are currently learning about the Olympics and local athletes competing, including Capel Valley's own Mark McMorris. This is the first time Jonathan Anderson has been on skates this year.
I love to be out here. I was skating with my friend earlier, and it's really nice. I like the view. It's really nice out here, and the weather really warmed up, so nice to be out here.
Echo Valley is one of the provincial parks open in the winter months for activities. Whether it be skating or skiing, Olympic dreams have to start somewhere, and there is no better time than now.
We're so proud of the athletes just for being there on behalf of our entire country. And just encouraging guests to come out here. Maybe they'll find a sport that they love enough to pursue it in an amateur or professional career.
Mick Favel, CTV News, Echo Valley Provincial Park.
Saskatchewan pubs and sports bars are getting set for this weekend's Super Bowl. A look at the final preparations after the break. Saskatchewan Roughriders have announced where the Grey Cup will be to start their Grey Cup tour. It begins in Humboldt tomorrow at the Broncos game. Then it will go to Nipawin on Sunday for the mixed doubles provincials. Monday it'll be in Melfort. Tuesday in PA at a Raiders game, and then the James Smith Cree Nation for a private function. February 12th it'll be at the Ryder Store in Saskatoon, and on the 14th at the Cornwall Centre in Regina. Monday, February 16th, it'll be in Weyburn for Family Fun Day and the Millionaires Red Wings game. Tuesday, February 17th in North Battleford, and Wednesday, February 18th in Meadow Lake for the Sask Winter Games. Now, that's all we have so far. For the full details on those events, you can head to the Riders website, riderville.com. Meanwhile, WHL tonight, an all-Saskatchewan battle at the Brandt Centre as Regina Pats take on the Saskatoon Blades.
1-0 lead. Braden Klimke walks in off the blue line, makes a move at the right circle. He shoots, and the puck is stopped. They score on the rebound.
These teams will play each other 3 times before the season ends. The Blades have won 2 of the previous 3, and the Pats just 2 points back of Red Deer for the final playoff spot. Also tonight, Swift Current hosts Medicine Hats, and Moose Jaw heads to Edmonton. On Sunday night, the NFL season comes to a close with the Super Bowl right here on CTV. The Seattle Seahawks versus the New England Patriots. So what's the excitement level here in Saskatchewan? Well, Hallie Mandrick has more.
Saskatoon sports bars are gearing up for one of the busiest days of the year.
Super Bowl is the Super Bowl. It's one of the biggest sporting days of the year, so it brings down quite a few people, from the diehard fan to just a casual observer.
According to Chudskoff, Super Bowl Sunday takes a significant amount of preparation for the Sports on Tap team, and they're not alone. Over at Hudson's Pub, staff are also getting ready for an especially busy shift.
Oh yes, big screen will be down, sound will be on. We've had a lot
lot of fans coming in throughout the regular season to watch football, so I can only imagine Super Bowl Sunday is going to be really busy.
While Super Bowl Sunday revolves around football, many people are also focused on the food and drinks that come along with the occasion.
Oh, big things like, the wings. Wings are always a good thing. People gotta have some snacks while they watch the game, or a burger's great, beef dip's good too. Like whatever people want. There's no sky's limit for big games.
Rotinsky says there's one food that always proves to be the most popular when the Super Bowl rolls around.
Nothing screams Super Bowl Sunday more than chicken wings. Super Bowl Sunday is going to be a crazy day here. We have an all-you-can-eat wings promo happening for $20.
Chudskoff says, while the day requires a lot of extra work, he wouldn't have it any other way.
It is crazy, and it's a great crazy. Everyone's just cheering and yelling and screaming. Anywhere from go team to profanities when bad things happen. It's quite a mix of emotions during a game, so it's great.
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Still ahead, the Sask Party is touting recent job numbers in the Parkland region.
Welcome back. I am still down here at Pat Fiacca Plaza. Folks are still taking in the fun happening down here with the outdoor rink and Croca Curl and a whole lot more. Now, temperatures will be warming up as we head into tomorrow, so still a whole lot of fun you can be taking in wherever you are in Saskatchewan, because those temperatures are expected to be quite nice with the sunshine. Now, depending on where you are, we still have a little bit of that cloud cover. Areas like Meadow Lake dropping to about -1, but still is much warmer than what the daytime high usually is. Lloydminster, though, +1. Kindersley, 6 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. Outlook, +3, a mix of sun and cloud. 2 degrees for Watrous with a mix of sun and cloud. And then the closer we get to the southern border, the temperatures warm up. 8 degrees for East End Cypress, 14 for Maple Creek. Rockland and Leader, 7 degrees, 9 for Coronach. Lumsden, Pilot Butte, 3 degrees. Broadview, 0. Kenora will drop below 0 to -3. And Carlisle, expecting some fog, and +1 is the expected high. For Sturgis, where internet speeds up to 1 gig available through SaskTel. Cloudy tomorrow, -3 is the expected high, with a wind chill of about -5. By evening, dropping to about -7 with a wind chill of -11. And by Sunday, expecting some rain.
Yorkton MLA David Chan held a press conference this morning talking about the latest Stats Canada data on Saskatchewan's labor force. Now, the MLA says that the Yorkton-Melville economic region saw impressive numbers last year, a 9% increase in employment compared to 2024. The region also had the lowest unemployment rate among the province's 5 economic regions at 3.4%. Chan's statement came after the NDP was in Yorkton last week, criticizing the provincial government's PST on construction.
Force we need to fill the jobs being created by our strong economic growth. Saskatchewan will continue to be strong as we move forward into 2026. And while our labor market is only one metric, it is a strong one, and one that I'm happy to talk about.
Chan also added that the government hasn't seen any significant impact on job growth as a result of the tariffs that we've seen. Well, there's a potential breakthrough in the fight against ovarian cancer. A new BC-led surgical innovation could cut the risk significantly. Get more in this report.
And here, a major development in ovarian cancer prevention.
We're all actually quite astounded.
This research is important because it will save women's lives.
Findings from the new study, led by a BC-based international collaboration called the Ovarian Cancer Observatory, show opportunistic salpingectomy, or OS, a procedure invented in BC which removes the fallopian tubes while keeping a person's ovaries will
reduce their risk of developing ovarian cancer by 80%.
Researchers reviewed more than 85,000 BC surgical records that spanned more than a decade and found people who had OS were far less likely to develop the deadliest form of ovarian cancer.
Preventing it from happening in the first place saves lives.
Dr. Huntsman explains.
By removing the fallopian tubes and leaving the ovaries behind, we get this cancer reduction benefit, but without all of those challenges.
a newfound hope against this deadly cancer.
Ovarian cancer is the 5th leading cause of death in women.
Data from UBC shows ovarian cancer is the most lethal gynecological cancer. Approximately 3,100 Canadians are diagnosed with the disease each year. Dr. Hanley says if patients are looking to get it done,
it's entirely based around having another surgical opportunity to remove the fallopian tubes and to reduce ovarian cancer risk.
But adds,
right now working with all of the general surgeons in the province, and they are beginning to offer this during general surgery as well.
Demetra Marigo, CTV News, Vancouver.
Take a look at canola street price, up $12.70 to $611.73 per ton. The futures price down $2.20 to $660.80 per ton. Amber Durum wheat, there is a change, up $3.67 to $278.59 per ton. Red spring wheat is down 88 cents to $255.17 per ton. Feed barley went up $18.42 to $232.01 per ton, and flax is $650.54 per ton. Those prices courtesy of Bunge. Markets both on the way up. The TSX up 476 points, Dow Jones by 1,206 points. The Canadian dollar, it went up a little more than 0.2% to 73.23 cents US. Gold is up $185.31. West Texas Intermediate crude up 26 cents, while Western Canadian Select crude was up 37 cents. And gas in Regina stays the same, $1.29.9 cents per liter.
The unemployment rate dropped to 6.5%, and that's because fewer people were looking for work. The manufacturing sector took a major blow in January. It shed 28,000 jobs. So it's no surprise that Ontario had the biggest drop in employment. The education sector lost 24,000 jobs, and public administration was down 10. Alberta had the biggest increase in employment, gaining 20,000 jobs. Stellantis is selling its stake in a battery manufacturing plant in Ontario. LG Energy Solutions was already a partner in the project, but will now take full ownership of the Windsor plant. Stellantis stock is taking a hit today and a write-down of $26 billion US. Like many automakers, it is revising its EV plan as US demand dries up. Markets were on a comeback mission today. The TSX was pushed up by precious metal stocks. In the U.S., some of the badly battered tech stocks started to recover. Investors chose to buy on the dip after a volatile start to the week. Those are your business headlines. I'm Merle Fernandez.
Coming up tonight after the newscast, we have Celebrity Wheel of Fortune, followed by St. Denis Medical, Stumble, Boston Blue, Big Bang Theory, E-Talk, News, and the day's over. Well, you might soon be seeing a lot more from the Peanuts gang if Sony take over the beloved franchise, getting the green light.
Hey, Charlie Brown, you're smiling now. That's right, I am.
Sony Group announced in December that it was taking an 80% stake in the franchise worldwide. Now the company's quarterly earnings reports show it's considering ways to incorporate characters from the world of Charlie Brown into its music, video, and live events. Sony executives say they plan to closely collaborate with the family of Peanuts creator Charles Schultz if the deal goes through. Interesting. Yeah, everyone remembers the Charlie Brown Christmas, the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. And just Charlie Brown couldn't kick a field goal, apparently. That's all the time I have. Have a good weekend, everyone.